all in all, it's... Hey everyone, welcome back to Sgcarmart Reviews. So this is it. This is BMW's flagship limousine, now made electric. That's right, this is the brand new BMW i7. Now, before we carry on with the review, if you are thinking of selling your car, try Quotz. Quotz helps you sell your car quickly and easily. With the new Quotz doorstep, get a professional inspection by our certified mechanics at your convenience, anywhere on the island. Quotz will then auction out your car online to its wide network of dealers to bid on your car. Once bidding is complete, Quotz will update you with their best offer price at no obligation. It's that easy. To find out more, visit quotz.com.sg. That's quotz.com.sg. Now, back to the i7. The BMW i7 is priced from $624,888. The two electric motors produce 536 brake horsepower and 745 Nm of torque. The single-speed transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km/h in 4.7 seconds. The 101.7 kWh battery provides a drive range of up to 590 km. For more details on the BMW i7 or any other car, head on to sgcarmart.com to help you make the smart choice on your next car. Now let's talk design. So obviously the i7 has a real bold and purposeful design. Is it pretty? No, it's not pretty, but there's a reason it looks like that, right? So the main reason is aerodynamics. So why you have all these sort of large flat surfaces is really just to reduce aerodynamic drag. And there are some details, things like your Swarovski crystals here, that speak to the car's luxurious nature, but fundamentally this car is all about the imposing presence, right? You're not going to miss this on the road. Now, at the side of the car, there's just one thing you need to know. Electric doors. Now, design-wise, the rear of the car compared to the front is actually quite simple and quite minimalist. I like it. Now, boot space. Here we have a 500-litre boot. It's not particularly big, but it's nice and deep. You can easily pass the anti-trolley length test and it'll easily fit a big luggage, and really, who needs much more space than this, right? Golf bags are easily gonna fit. Now though, let's go check out the most important part of the i7, which is the inside. Now it is here inside the i7 that you really feel those extreme levels of comfort, of luxury and of quality. And it's worth noting that this isn't the full spec i7, so you might notice that we're missing the gigantic theatre screen, so it's not yet available here in Singapore. I can tell you from experience, it is really quite the experience. But even so, it is still a very classy space, right? It's plenty spacious, you have lots of legroom, headroom's pretty good as well. And you know, it's just expensive materials everywhere, so you have really nice plush leathers, nice carpets. I particularly like this little pillow over here that's really nice to rest your neck on. And of course, it is also a very high-tech space. So we have this screen here, one on either door, that you can use to control a whole bunch of functions. You know, climate control, your ventilated seats or heated if you want them to be heated, your sound settings, you can change your mind modes, you can close all the blinds, you know, things like that. And there's a lot that you can do from here. You can essentially almost be a backseat driver, right? We have a wireless charging pad over here that if you press a little button, brings up two cup holders as well, and two USB-C ports over there if you need. Now, in terms of overall space, of course, if you use this as a two-seater at the back, it's plenty comfortable. If you needed to ferry a third passenger, I would say it's not the most conducive. So as you can see, there's quite a significant hump here. That's because, you know, these seats really hug you, and therefore there's a hump here. And there's also a transmission tunnel that is a carryover from the fact that this shares the same platform as your petrol 7 Series. That being said, it's still, you know, I have size 10.5 feet and my feet will easily fit here because, you know, there's so much space here, right? Yes, you could fit this 3 people at the back, but, you know, really, I think most 7 Series owners are gonna be using this car as a limo, and that really means 2 people. Snugly sit here at the back and just relax. It's a fantastic space. I don't really want to get out of here, but let's go jump into the front. Now, here in the front of the i7, it is quite a dense space. So what do I mean, right? So we obviously have this curved display running on OS 8, and OS 8 is quite a complex system. There's a lot of stuff in there. You know, if we jump into the menu, you can see there's so many different things, and there's a lot going on, right? It takes a little bit of learning. We have this new steering wheel, which you can use to control your cluster here, which again has a bunch more other settings, you have head-up display, things like that. The thing that people will most notice is what BMW is calling its interaction bar. So it's this light bar that stretches from here on this door all the way to there on the other door. And it is more than just ambient lighting. So there are controls within. You have your seat controls, your locks, your automatic doors, even your hazard lights, and the bar will obviously change color depending on what's happening, right? So whether you turn on your hazard lights or you change your My modes to other modes, right? Things like that. Beyond that, your center console is quite familiar from your other new modern BMWs. It's pretty much the same. All in all, it is of course very feature packed, right? You have your Bose and Wilkins surround sound system, you have all kinds of stuff. And I think it does make for a bit of a complex interior. It takes a little bit of learning, a little bit of getting used to. But it is without fail still very luxurious, very comfortable, and very, very classy. Now let's go drive this car and see how it feels on the road. Now on the road, obviously the i7 is plenty fast. So we have 536 brake horsepower, 745 Newton meters of torque, and a 0 to 100 timing of 4.7 seconds. So that's as quick as some hot hatches. And that's to be expected, right? Electric cars are known for straight line pace. I think the one thing that I do like about the i7 is the fact that it is a very big car, but it doesn't feel that big on the road. So it's to do with the way it handles, the fact that it has rear wheel steering, and it drives really quite nicely. And it's all about that comfort, right? It is very, very smooth. The drivetrain is fabulous, and this car really eats up bumps on the roads like nothing, right? So it's so supple. You have air suspension, and you can just go over bumps without even starting to brake. And as far as being an EV, of course, you have a selection of regenerative braking, so there is low, medium, high, and then you have something called adaptive. So this one, the car will pick the best amount of regen braking depending on the road conditions. As far as handling goes, I can tell you that this car handles much better than you expect around windy mountain roads. I did that in Palm Springs, but of course in Singapore, I don't think any i7 or 7 Series owner is overly concerned about dynamic behavior. I think perhaps what's more important is the fact that this car comes with a ton of safety features and assistant features, and some of them are actually really useful. So for example, I have navigation set now, and there is an augmented reality view that is now displayed on the instrument cluster. It used to be here last time. On this display, it is basically a live view. It will show you like directions, where you're supposed to turn, how far the next turn is away. And then on the heads-up display, you can also see the navigation view as well. So it makes for a very easy way to get around Singapore if you do rely on navigation. And of course, the car can keep itself in its own lane. There is lane change assistant, a whole bunch of stuff in this car. So yes, it is very techy in that sense, right? Now, one thing to know about the i7, it is very quiet, and that's to be expected as an electric car. It's a luxury car, it's very nicely insulated. However, I would there is, I think, a case to be made that this might be a little bit too quiet. There is some signs about how the human ear is not accustomed to dealing with absolute silence. We're used to having ambient noises, right? And here there is very little of that. So, okay, obviously I'm driving with whatever sound turned off. So radio's off, iconic sound's off because we're obviously shooting a video. But because this car is so good at keeping out all the noise, you don't hear much road noise, you don't hear vehicles around you. It's quiet to a point that it might actually feel a little bit uncomfortable because you're in a sense slightly deprived of sensory stimulus, right? And I think that's something that it's a sort of, that's just how the human brain and ear work. So I guess it's one of those cases where you probably should turn on the radio. The sound system is fantastic, blast your music, or just turn on iconic sounds, and I think everything is fine. Now, as far as range goes, BMW quotes like 590 km on a full charge, and realistically, I'm doing somewhere in the region of 530, 540 on a full charge. So it's a very believable number, and let's be real, 500 over km of charge is plenty, right? That's probably going to last most people like a week in Singapore, so I think that's plenty. And overall, I would say that as a luxury electric limo, I think this i7 is very impressive. So the new BMW i7, is it a will buy, won't buy, or go try? I must say this is a go try. So this new i7 is a lot of car, but I have to admit that it can feel a little bit overwhelming at times, right? There's so much going on. I think this new generation 7 Series and i7 as a whole is a significant step forward compared to the previous generation model. It's a lot more tech, a lot more equipment, it's a lot more car, and It's one of those things where it takes a little bit of learning, right? You need to learn the ins and outs of the car. And it's, I think, not that easy for perhaps a previous Gen 7 Series owner to jump in this car and immediately feel at home. Of course, it is a very, very capable, very luxurious, very comfortable and very high-tech electric luxury saloon. That being said, I'm not sure it's for everyone. So I guess that probably also explains why BMW concurrently released both this electric version as well as the petrol version of this car, because I think it caters to slightly different tastes. Personally, I'm a fan of this electric version. I think it adds a level of quality and refinement to the overall experience. But I think it's one of those things where you really got to try it out for yourself to figure out if this car is for you. So that's our review of the brand new BMW i7. Let us know what you think about this car in the comment section below, and like, share and subscribe to our channel. Especially those of you watching who are not yet subscribed, please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you will be alerted of all our upcoming videos for 2023. Also follow us on TikTok, we are at Sgcarmart, so you'll find lots of fun content there. That's all I have for you today. I'll see you soon. Bye! You see all these big sort of... All in all, it's... I don't know what to say. Ugh.